Hey you guys, so on today's video I'm going to be doing some rainbow nails on 2 fingers, and then on the rest of the fingers I'm doing like a minty green color. So first I start off with 2 orange colors. I'll have every single color down below in the description box. So I just put those 2 orange colors together on my brush and kind of just like mix them around together to kind of create this like I don't know how to explain, just mixing the colors together to just give it the gradient look, but not making it, I didn't want it to be super orange, but I didn't want it to be too light, so I just mixed those together to like give it that perfect orangey color. So next, after I do that color, I'm going to go in with a yellow. And whenever you put the yellow down, you want to put the bead of yellow, and then you're going to go in and get that same orange color that you were using before and mix it in with the yellow so it really blends together. So you can see I did it right there. And then kind of mix the yellow back into that orange color. So whenever you do a nail like this, at least for me, I use a lot of my liquid because I'm trying to like blend the colors together. You know, I'm using my liquid, using, you know, a lot of like little bitty beads. So I really like use up my liquid whenever I do a design like this. But you can see how they kind of blended together whenever I added the orange and then the yellow, and, you know, just go back and add little beads here and there. Just keep blending them. That's all it is just blending, adding a bead here and there just to make it look, you know, gradient and nice and smooth. So now I mixed a blue and a green. And the green that I mixed is the green that I'm using for the 2 fingers, or the other 3 fingers. So I'm going to get the blue and the green and put it right where I put the yellow. And then I'm mixing in some yellow into that blue and green color too. And then going back in and adding more blue. And then just mixing that down into the yellow. So that it really gives it like this nice, just seamless ombre basically. And you want to just keep working, just adding beads however you think it'll blend the best. Just add those beads. And then just keep going as, you know, just keep determining what you need to do as you keep going. So now I'm going to go in with a purple. I mixed 2 purples for this as well. And honestly, I wish I would have used a different color at the bottom, but my client showed me a picture by, I think her Instagram is Nails by Myra. My client wanted some nails inspired by her set that she did. So I used purple at the bottom, but I feel like we should have used like a, well, I don't know what other color we could have used, but I don't know. I just feel like it would have been better if we would have used a different color. But it came out, I mean, they're cute. It came out cute. So it was just like the purple was a little bit maybe too dark for the blue. But it doesn't really matter because in the end we put stones on the index finger, I believe. So I'm just going in and still just mixing those colors together. And I wanted to add like the lighter purple too, to not let the darker purple overpower the blue. And that's basically all there is to it. So it's basically just going in and just continuously adding little beads here and there just to blend it and make it that like perfect rainbowy color. I think if I was to do this again, it would probably look better than this one did. But I mean, this one still looks good, but I think I got the hang of it after I did all 4 fingers. And then eventually whenever we go in and we cap these nails, it's going to make the blend look even more seamless because it kind of like fogs it out a little bit. So it always, clear always makes ombres look, you know, seamless. And I'm just going to go in on the pinky and do the exact same thing that I just did on the ring finger. And so I'm just going to let you guys watch me while I do this finger so you can like really get the gist of what I'm trying to explain to you. Okay, so now for the other 3 nails, I'm just doing this minty green color. I mixed 2 colors to get this green, so I'll have those down below so you could mix it yourself too. And I was afraid that it would marble, and it did slightly, but you can't even tell in the video, and you couldn't really tell in person either after I finished the whole nail. And so for these nails, I did, I think, a 2 bead method for all of the nails because I was going to go back in and cap it, because sometimes Valentino's colors can be like a little bit, I don't want to call them chalky. They're color acrylics. I don't want to call them chalky, but sometimes, I mean, yeah, sometimes it can be a little chalky. So I just went in and capped these in the end too, just to be safe for whenever I go in with my e-file. I didn't want there to be any streaks or any marks that you could see whenever I was e-filing. And after I get done doing those 2 beads, you can see how I just go over the sides of the nail and towards the bottom just to make sure everything fits really perfectly to the nail tip. And then I'll go in and add like little beads here and there where I feel like I'm missing a little bit of, I don't know, like a little bit of my apex, or I feel like it's a little bit flat in some areas or something. You know, you can go in and add tiny beads. So whenever I do 2 bead method, you can see I start kind of more towards the top, but not completely at the cuticle area. And then I'll go ahead and then pat and then start dragging down. If you want me to do, or if you want to hear a really like in-depth video of me explaining how I apply my acrylic, I have a video called The Perfect Application, I think it's called. It's like 4 videos ago that I made it, so you can go check that one out, but I'm going to briefly explain what I did. So then whenever I add my other bead, I'm going to add it right above where I put the last bead. And whenever I put it down, I'm going to go ahead and immediately push it into the cuticle area and, you know, seal it. And then once I'm done with that, I will go ahead and then start brushing down. So I know I've told you guys whenever I apply, I like to pat, 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 and then start moving down once I feel like the acrylic has, you know, kind of had its time to set a little bit. But whenever you do the cuticle bead, you don't want it to sit for too long, because then whenever you swipe it down, it might not blend seamlessly into the other bead that you had before it. So with the cuticle bead, you want to work a little bit faster. Okay, so again, if you're doing a 2 bead method, whenever you add your second bead, whenever you add your cuticle bead, you want to go ahead and push it up. You don't want to take too long. Go ahead and seal the cuticle area, and then once you do that, immediately start swiping down so that it doesn't dry up on you, because if it dries up on you, then that's whenever you're going to start having trouble, and then your nail is just going to look really bulky, and it's just going to be a mess. Okay, so now I'm going to start capping all of the nails, and you'll see whenever I add the clear bead, it's as if I was doing the cuticle bead, except I'm doing it with the clear bead, and then I'll bring it all the way down. I'm just patting and dragging, and you can see as I'm adding the clear bead, you can see how much the rainbow becomes even more seamless. And then you just want to keep patting and dragging your clear down. And I see a lot of people comment in the comment section asking what that is, and it's clear acrylic. So you always want to cap glitters, you want to cap some acrylics. You really have to just determine that as you become more experienced what color acrylics have to be capped. You want to cap design, so something like this. Since I wasn't building an apex, or I wasn't really focusing on the thickness of the nail, I was really just focusing on the design. You want to always cap a design, ombres, and things like that. Now once I start e-filing, you guys already know my motions. I go underneath the tip of the nail, around the side, around the cuticle area, and then I go over the whole nail, and then I'll just repeat that whole process. If you're new to my videos, then I do have a really in-depth video and close-up in really good angles. Sorry, like on this video, my camera kept going out of focus, so sorry in advance. But if you do want to see like a really in-depth video of me doing my e-file process and explaining everything and getting really good shots, I have a video. It's called Doing My Own Nails or something like that, and that would be really good if you're a beginner and you really need to see like what I'm doing. So like you can see right here, it went out of focus. So annoying, but I'm really just making the nail smooth. You can see I'm not really spending a lot of time on any of the nails. I'm really just spending time on the tip of the nail, because usually I've told you guys whenever I do the tip of the nail, I usually make that part thicker, because whenever I go in and file with my hand file, I feel like whenever you make the tip of the nail thicker at first and then you go in and do this, it like the shape just holds even better. Of course, you're not going to leave it thick at the tip, but you know, whenever you hand file and you use your e-file, it's not too thin, so you're not going to mess up the shape. Whenever your client leaves and they do daily activities, the edges of their nails are not going to get rounded out because you didn't make them super thin. So if you were to do somebody's nails and you made the tip super thin before even using your e-file, and then imagine you use your e-file after it's already thin, then it's even thinner. And then once your client leaves, they start, let's say they go to the gym or they just do like their daily activities, those edges are going to start rounding out and the shape is not going to hold more than a week or a week and a half. Okay, so now I'm going in with my cuticle bit and I'm just making sure that there's no acrylic stuck on the cuticle area. And this is just an extra precaution that I like to take. Whenever I'm doing my application process, I can clearly like tell and see if I do or if I don't get acrylic like stuck on the cuticle, and 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10 I don't. But I just like to do this because I've always done it and it's just something I'm used to, so I just like to take that extra, precautionary step. And then I go in with my sanding band and I just smooth out the nail. It's just basically like buffing it. I still sometimes go in with the buffer and buff the nails too. I do in this video really quickly. So now I'm going to go in with my hand file. And whenever I go underneath the nails like that, I'm just doing that to get any extra like gunk from underneath the nail. Any like leftover nail tip or acrylic or anything that could be underneath the nail. But you can see I'm filing and I'm keeping my file straight. So I am going to make another shaping video for you guys because I have been getting people asking me to make a new one. So I will make a new one explaining it even more, and I think I'll do Coffin Shape. So whenever you do tapered square, of course, you want to keep your file very straight. You don't want to angle it at all. Whenever you do Coffin Shape, you still want to keep your file straight, but you're going to go more at an angle, if that makes sense. Like I said, I'm going to make another video on shaping, so I'll go more into depth on that. So now I'm turning the hand around, and I'm just making sure that the tips are straight across. So now I'm going in and spraying some water. You can spray water, alcohol, you could spray swipe. I like to do swipe or water. And then I'm going in with my little fan bit, and I'm making sure that there's no dust on the nail or in the cracks of the nail, like near the cuticle area. And I like to do this obviously because whenever you put your top coat, you don't want, little dust particles to get stuck in the top coat whenever you cure it. And yes, if you're using a gel top coat, you need to use a UV or LED light to cure the nail. And if you're doing acrylics, then I would really highly suggest you get a gel top coat. And so now I'm just going in and adding some stones on the side of the nails. And in a second, I show you guys that I'm using Mia's Secret Gel Resin Activator and Zule's Bling Adhesive. I was using some like hard gel, and I would use that like if I'm doing like a lot of stones, but since I'm just doing a little bit, I recently bought Zule and I really like it. It does dry super fast. Like if you put like a tiny bit, it does dry really, really fast. So you probably wouldn't even need the Mia's Secret gel or the resin activator because it dries super fast. And for my top coat, I am using Nailsupplyglamour Gel Top Coat. I really like this one. I use this top coat, or I'll use Valentino's top coat. And you guys know I like to go on the side of the nail with my finger to make sure that no gel ran off of the nail on the sides, because then whenever you cure it in the light, it's like would be horrible if you have like a little bitty lump on the side because the gel ran off. And usually that would only happen if you put too much gel, but I still do it just in case because it's a habit. Okay, you guys, and after that, I'm done. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope I taught you something by doing the rainbow thing. It was my first time doing it, actually, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be posting another video really soon. Make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to leave me any comments with your questions or concerns or anything like that.